from Royal Communications Incorporated, even a welcome to King's News Room 45 minutes news about Liberia, Africa, and our one world. Today is Wednesday, June 18, 2025, and I'm Shematia presenting. In the headlines, government of Liberia apprehends and forwards to court 39-year-old John Yanti as key suspect of the Capitol building arson case. But Yanti claims innocence, says government officials promised him US 200,000 for false testimony. Lead Civil Society Organization Integrity Watch Liberia urges national legislature to reject amendment of Local Government Act. The group executive director Harold Ado terms amendment of sections of the Act as retrogression of government decentralization. And also in the news tonight, Independent National Commission Human Rights Chairperson Mr. Dempster Brown accuses ex-warlords who are government officials of undermining the establishment of what an economic crime code, calls on Liberians to support the code to end the country's culture of impunity. Away from home, his university in Nigeria has sparked outrage after a video went viral showing female students being touched to see if they were wearing bra before taking part in the exam. The dilemma of whether the US should join Israel in attacking Iran or stay out of the offensive altogether has exposed divisions among US President Donald Trump supporters. This plus the news bulletin, voices of those making the news are all packaged. We'll take a short break to be right back. Welcome back at this juncture. We join Sam Andrews with the news bulletin.
The government of Liberia has forwarded to court John Yanti, an alleged key suspect in the December 2024 Capitol building ongoing arson case. Yanti, who fled the country to neighboring Ghana, was arrested and subsequently turned over to the Monrovia City Court for further legal proceedings related to his alleged role in the attack. However, the family of the suspect has since accused the Liberian government of offering him 50,000 United States dollars, including a promise of relocation to Europe to provide statements against former House Speaker Jonathan Kofa and 3 lawmakers who are currently facing charges in connection with the Capitol building fire. Speaking to judicial reporters Wednesday following his arrest, Yanti alleged that officials from both the Liberia National Police and the National Security Agency made several offers in an attempt to persuade him to testify against the accused lawmakers. Yanti further alleged that a state security officer, along with government-aligned ambassador, offered him 20,000 United States dollars upon his return from Ghana to support the claim. Political analysts have, however, termed Yanti's comment as significant but remain cautious about its credibility, noting that the truth behind the Capitol building fire remains central to determining the full extent of responsibility into the case. A civil society organization, the Integrity Watch Liberia, has called on the national legislature to reject the bill seeking to amend 2 sections in the Local Government Act. On Tuesday, Grand Juda County Representative Jeremiah Sokan presented a bill seeking to strip the county council of the powers and transfer them to the county legislative caucus. But addressing a press conference in Monrovia Wednesday, the executive director, Harold Ado, described the bill as a move to retrogress efforts made in decentralizing the government. According to Ado, the Local Government Act was enacted to deepen participatory governance, empower local decision-making, and improve service delivery by creating democratic county councils. The Integrity Watch executive director, however, reminded the lawmakers that any effort to weaken the autonomy of the county council will be an assault on democratic local governance, accountability, and the principle of the separation of powers. The national chairperson of the Independent National Commission on Human Rights has decried the culture of impunity, terming it a serious problem where people who killed or harmed innocent people go free. According to Councillor Dempster Brown, one of the biggest mistakes made by Liberians over the years is to award power to people who reportedly killed innocent people, making reference to ex-warlords who are currently in the Senate and the House of Representatives. He noted that President Joseph Boakai's executive order, which supports the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court, is intended to bring an end to impunity in the country, adding, "It's important that every Liberian support the establishment of the court." The Independent National Commission on Human Rights chairperson for the claim that ex-rebel leaders are currently using their positions in government to undermine the country's peace and stability and thwart effort of the Office of the War and Economic Crimes Court. He made a statement on Tuesday during the official dedication and transfer of Bantam Memorial Site in Grand Bassa County to the local in the area. Statistics from Bantam Memorial Site show that 700 persons were massacred by the Liberia Peace Council rebel faction headed by ex-rebel leader and former representative George Boley. Former House Speaker Councillor Fonati Kofa, Abu Kamara, Dixon Sibo, and Jacob Deby risk re-arrest for proffering what state lawyers described as a defective criminal bond before the Monrovia City Court, which led to their release from the Monrovia Central Prison. Criminal Court A on Wednesday confirmed to our judicial correspondent that state lawyers took exception to defendant Kofa and his colleagues' $440,000 United States dollars property bond, saying that the bond failed to meet the legal requirement consistent with Chapter 36, Section 36.3 of the Civil Procedure Law of Liberia. State lawyers' request to the court is seeking for the full representatives' bond to be set aside and have them returned to the Monrovia Central Prison until a proper bond can be submitted to the court as provided by law. However, defendant Kofa and others' legal team has since justified the legal sufficiency of their client property value bond, contrary to state claims. Our judicial correspondent said the lawyers' claims and counterclaims have compelled Criminal Court A resident Judge Roosevelt Willie to assign the matter for a hearing on Thursday, June 19, before making any decision over the matter. Former House Speaker Councillor J. Fonati Kofa, Representatives Abu Kamara, Dixon Sibo, Jacob Deby, and Priscilla Cooper are facing criminal prosecution for multiple offenses, ranging from criminal felicitation, criminal conspiracy, attempt to commit murder, arson, criminal mischief, among others. The government of Liberia has established a high-level presidential task force to coordinate its response to growing concerns following a potential travel ban threatened by the United States government. The U.S. recently announced that it may impose travel restrictions on Liberia and 35 other countries that fail to meet the established immigration and security requirements. In response, President Joseph Boakai initiated the formation of a task force to address the issue, proactively engaging the United States authorities. According to a release from the Executive Mansion Wednesday, key government institutions include the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Health, and the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs, among others, will form the core of the negotiation team. The release further stated that the Presidential Task Force has developed a joint multi-sectorial work plan aimed at resolving the U.S. government's concerns. The plan implementation will be carried out in close collaboration with the United States and will include mechanisms for ongoing monitoring and evaluation to ensure transparency, accountability, and measurable results. The Liberia National Police has released an official update regarding an infant that was found by some residents of Brookville in a black plastic bag after being abandoned by the mother around the Brookville Cemetery. Speaking at the LNP headquarters in Monrovia Wednesday, Officer Susie Telle, commander of the Women and Children Protection Unit at Zone 6 Depot in Brookville, detailed the circumstances surrounding the discovery. She noted that the incident was first reported by a local resident identified as Kenneth Johnson at approximately 10:21 p.m. on June 16. Officer Teller stated that Johnson informed the police that he heard someone shouting from within the cemetery and upon investigation with his mother discovered the child wrapped in a black plastic bag, and together they transported the child to Brookville Police Station. According to her, upon reporting the case, due to the absence of a female officer on duty, the baby was given to Kenneth's mother to temporarily take custody of the baby until the following morning. The family that found the child has been agitating and requesting the police to give them the baby, but the police have rejected, adding that the baby was taken to SOS Hospital where she received emergency treatment due to poor health conditions. She further clarified that reporting a child to the police does not grant custody rights, noting that for foster care or adoption can only be pursued legally through the Ministry of Gender and only after a thorough vetting process. And this civil society organization named and Star Citizens United to Demand Accountability has endorsed the July 17 protest, which is being organized by Solidarity and Trust for New Day and several other groups. The organization chairman, Trokon Kokoyezi, disclosed that their decision to support July 17 protests is based on the prevailing situation under the Unity Party-led government. Speaking shortly before presenting the statement to STEM executive member, Kokoyezi said his organization would not sit by and allow the situation in the country to continue to deteriorate. Receiving the statement, an executive member of STEM, Reverend Fester Logan, who represented STEM National Chairman Molba Molu, commended STEM United to demand accountability for declaring support for the July 17 peaceful demonstration in the country. According to Reverend Fester Logan, it is the right of every Liberian to demand their elected officials of government to address the many problems prevailing in the country.
Seman Juice with the news bulletin. The news bulletin is a regular feature on King's News Broom. A reminder you're listening to King's News Broom 45 minutes news about Liberia, Africa in our one word. Stories we following tonight. Government of Liberia apprehends and forwards to court 39-year-old John Yanti as key suspect of the Capitol building arson case, but Yanti claims innocence. Says government officials promised him US 200,000 of false testimony. Lead civil society organization Integrity Watch Liberia urges national legislature to reject amendments of Local Government Act. The group executive director, Harold Haddo, terms amendment of sections of the Act as retrogression of government decentralization. Independent National Commission Human Rights Chairperson Councillor Dempster Brown accuses ex-warlords who are government officials of undermining the establishment of World Economic Crimes Code, calls on Liberians to support the code to end the country's culture of impunity. Away from home, a university in Nigeria has sparked outrage after a video went viral showing female students being touched to see if they were wearing bras before taking part in an exam. The dilemma of whether the US should join Israel in taking or attacking Iran or stay out of the offensive altogether has exposed divisions among US President Donald Trump's supporters. We'll take a break to be back with voices. Welcome back and thanks for being there. The government of Liberia has forwarded to court John Yanti, an alleged key suspect in the December 2024 Capitol building ongoing arson case. Yanti, who fled the country to neighboring Ghana, was arrested and subsequently turned over to the Moravia City Court for further legal proceedings related to his alleged role in the attack. However, the family of the suspect has since accused the Liberian government of offering him US 50,000, including the promise of relocation to Europe. But speaking to judicial reporters Wednesday following his arrest, Yanti alleged that officials from both the Liberia National Police and National Security Agency made several offers in an attempt to persuade him to testify against the accused lawmakers.
He's a lot of money better than that. You get everything, you're getting 200,000 now. Imagine you are seeing it today. What allegation? But I'm like 106, 103, 1 ambassador, I just forget what you need. Yeah, but almost 10 different government officials every day coming to my hotel. How are you? Last time I was in hotel, what's my receiver? What they are last time now? So my receiver there, and me on it.
John Yanti, thus speaking. Meanwhile, political analysts have, however, termed Yanti's comments as significant, but remain cautious about his credibility, noting that the truth behind the Capitol building fire remains central to determining the full extent of responsibility in the case. A civil society organization, the Integrity Watch Liberia, has called on the national legislature to reject the bill seeking to amend 2 sections in the Local Government Act. On Tuesday, Grand Jida County Representative Jeremiah Sokan presented a bill seeking to strip the county council of the powers and transfer them through the legislative caucus. But addressing a press conference in Moravia Wednesday, the executive director, Harold Addo, described the bill as a move to retrogress efforts made in decentralizing the government.
We call on the Liberian legislature, especially the House of Representatives, to reject this unwarranted and anti-decentralization amendment in its entirety. We urge citizens, civil society organizations, traditional leaders, and international partners to resist and condemn this regressive move. We wish to remind lawmakers that any attempt or effort to weaken the autonomy of the county council will be an assault on democratic local governance, accountability, and the principle of separation of powers. The Local Government Act of 2018 is one of Liberia's progressive governance framework. Tampering with its core provisions for political convenience is unacceptable, and we will ensure that this process is challenged. When I say we, it means that we, the citizens, civil society, and we believe, including the media actors, will ensure that this process is challenged. We stand firm and we stand united, and we want to say to our legislators, hands off the Local Government Act. Integrity Watch Liberia categorically denounces the ongoing attempt by the House of Representatives to repeal critical provisions of the Local Government Act of 2018, namely Section 2.2E and Section 2.2F, under the pretense of strengthening legislative oversight. These sections currently empower county councils to: 1, which is Section 2.2E, approve the annual county budget, and Section 2.2F, approve a county development plan and its implementation. The proposed bill introduced by Honorable Jeremiah Sokan Sr. seeks to strip county councils of these powers and transfer them to county legislative caucuses. This move is an alarming regression, not progress. It is a blatant effort to re-centralize authority, politicize local development, and erode the foundation of decentralization in Liberia. Let it be unequivocally clear that oversight does not mean direct implementation. When lawmakers become both the referee and the players, oversight is compromised, objectivity is lost, and the door to corruption, conflict of interest, and political manipulation swings wide open. The Local Government Act was enacted to deepen participatory governance, empower local decision-making, and improve service delivery by creating a democratic county council. These councils represent local interests and are accountable to the people. To now attempt to undermine this framework.
Harold Addo is the executive director of the Integrity Watch Liberia. They're calling on the national legislature to reject the bill seeking to amend 2 sections in the Local Government Act, which was presented by Grand Jide County Representative Jeremiah Sokan on Tuesday. The chairperson of the Independent National Commission on Human Rights has decried the culture of impunity, terming it as a serious problem where people who kill or harm innocent people go free. According to Councillor Dempster Brown, one of the biggest mistakes made by Liberians over the years is to award power to people who reportedly killed innocent people, making reference to ex-warlords who are currently in the Senate and the House of Representatives. He noted that President Boakai's executive order, which supports the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court, is intended to bring an end to impunity in the country.
What I want to say here is that the culture of impunity has been the problem in this society, where people kill innocent people and they go free. We have been yearning for this culture of impunity to be curtailed. And President Boakai came and said, no, enough is enough. We must kill the culture of impunity. This is how he signed an executive order for the establishment of the Economic and War Crime Court. But the biggest mistake that we made in this country is to give power to people who kill people. Today, look in the House of Senate and representative. A lot of them are warlords. They kill people. As a result, they now want the president's effort to be successful. They are undermining the establishment of the Economic and War Crime Court. If you listen in recent times, the office of the War Crime Court is crying payment of staff. Who is in the way of not releasing this money, and who's supposed to provide the money? I want to tell you today, enough is enough. Those people's days are over. We are going to make sure that this War Crime Court is established, and those who killed our citizens will be punished, so that our great-grandchildren will know that people who kill must be punished. You know, and I want the Labron people to know today that the error that was made by us to get people in the government that kill people, that should be the last and the first. These people that I'm talking about, they go to the president and lie with him, but deep in their hearts, they undermine the president. They are hypocrites and they are sycophants. They want to destroy this country because in the absence of conflict, they can't make good living. They kill and loot. We are 8 warring factions, and each of them capture territory. Those territories that they capture, they kill people and looted the properties. The banks that were there, they broke into the banks and took away money. Today, somebody are millionaires among us here, but their days are over. We seize their property in the future. And so, I want to tell the people of Beartown that have our sympathy for those that went away from you. But we know those that killed them. In 2000, the Secretary General of the United Nations addressed the Security Council and made it clear that no amnesty will be granted to anybody who committed war crime and crime against humanity. And this is why today, most of the people see the bluffing around here.
He is the chairperson of the Independent National Commission on Human Rights, Councillor Dempster Brown, there speaking. The Liberia National Police has released an official update regarding an infant that was found by some residents of Broadview in a black plastic bag after being abandoned by the mother around the Broadview cemetery. Speaking at the LMP headquarters in Moravia Wednesday, Officer Susie Tele, commander of the Women and Children Protection Unit at the Zone 6 depot in Broadview, detailed the circumstances surrounding the discovery.
A female child that was found and reported on June 16, 2025 at the precise hour of 10:21 p.m. Our office contacted us that approximately 1 day or 2 day old baby was found, female child was found by Mr. Kenneth Johnson and Mary Tokba. These two citizens reported that this baby was found in the Broadway, Central Broadway area near the Broadway Cemetery. According to them, this child was found at 10 o'clock p.m. According to Kenneth Johnson, he reported that while he was in his house, he heard someone saying that a child is crying in the cemetery. But unfortunately, he didn't see the person that was making that statement. So he immediately left his house and ran in the cemetery where he saw the child in the black plastic. So he immediately contacted his mother, Madam Mary Topa, who went and collected the child. And being a law-abiding citizen and peaceful citizen, they reported the baby at the Broadway police station where they met the commander and the child was reported. Due to the fact that it was late and we never had a female WAPS officer assigned that night. So the police asked Madam Mary Topa to take delivery of the child, to report the child the next day, early morning. So that was how Madam Mary Topa received the child and took the child home that night because it was very late. And early the next morning, June 17, the child was reported at the Broadway police station by 7 o'clock in the morning. And the case was immediately transferred at the WAPS headquarters. So due to the child's health condition, the police had to immediately take the child at the hospital to seek the child welfare because the child was young and the child was in a deplorable state that we couldn't just contact gender. So as per our procedure, once the police receive an abandoned baby, we receive the child and call the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection to provide care and support for that child. But because of the circumstances, that is the child health, we had to save life. That was how we took the child to the hospital. In the same vein, the Ministry of Gender was immediately contacted that an abandoned child has been reported to the police. The child was taken at the SOS hospital where the child received medical treatment. The child discharged late June 17 by 8 p.m. Therefore, we couldn't contact gender to come and take the child. So gender was immediately contacted, and right after this press conference, the child will be taken to the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social.
The rescuer of the child has been agitating and requesting the police to give them the baby, but the police have rejected, adding that the baby was taken to SOS Hospital, where she received emergency treatment due to poor health condition. Officer Teller further clarified that reporting a child to the police does not grant custody rights, noting that further care or adoption can only be pursued legally through the Ministry of Gender and only after a thorough vetting process. A reminder, you're listening to King's News Broom, 45 minutes news about Liberia, Africa, and our one word. Stories we follow in tonight. Government of Liberia apprehends and forwards to court 39-year-old John Yanti as key suspect of the Capitol building arson case, but Yanti claims innocence, says government officials promised him US $200,000 for false testimony. Lead civil society organization Integrity Watch Liberia urges national legislature to reject amendment of Local Government Act. The group executive director Harold Addo terms amendment of sections of the act as retrogression of government decentralization. Independent National Commission on Human Rights Chairperson Cassandra Dexter Brown accuses ex-warlords who are government officials of undermining the establishment of World Economic Crimes Code, calls on Liberians to support a code to end the country's culture of impunity. Away from home, a university in Nigeria has sparked outrage after a video went viral showing female students being touched to see if they were wearing bras before taking part in an exam. The dilemma of whether the US should join Israel in attacking Iran or stay out of the offensive altogether has exposed divisions among U.S. President Donald Trump's supporters. Take a break to continue with more voices. Welcome back and thanks for being there. A civil society organization named and starred Citizens United to Demand Accountability has endorsed the July 17, 2025 protest, which is being organized by the Solidarity and Trust for a New Deal and several other groups. The organization's chairman, Chokon Kokoyezi, disclosed that the decision to support the July 17 protests is based on the prevailing situation under the Unity Party-led government.
We gather with a strong sense of thoughtfulness about all sectors affected by the chronic crisis. Hunger is killing more than malaria. Mysterious deaths are more frequent than breakfast. There is no money to pay tuition, and civil servants have been dismissed unlawfully. Yet, 48 million USD is missing and cannot be accounted for. The Civil Service Agency and the Ministry of Finance are yet to provide answers, and this is what prompted our June 19, 2025 assembly. We remain unwavering in our quest for accountability and transparency. We have mobilized the base, and our comrades are ready to march into history any day. However, in response to the growing outcry of the suffering masses for a collective effort to confront this rotten system, we see it as extremely necessary to unite and stand together on a more collective front to challenge this regime. To this end, Citizens United to Demand Accountability has decided to join Stan's July 17 Enough is Enough protest, and together we'll march into history for a redemptive Liberia. The demands of our struggle will be incorporated into the petition on July 17, and the missing 48 million USD must be accounted for. Way Kafwan and Josiah Joker must be worried more than ever before. The corruptibility has taken a large-scale notification, and they will account. Meanwhile, we appreciate the support of everyone and urge the masses to remain vigilant. Keep mobilizing now more than ever before, because on July 17, we will remind the Bwakakun administration that all power is inherent in the people, and when united, the people cannot be ignored. Let history record that in the face of tyranny, the people stood tall.
And executive member of STAN, Reverend Fester Logan, had this to say following the presentation of Kokoezi.
The United Against Corruption, if I'll get the name correctly, on behalf of the executive chairman of STAND and the We the People movement, we want to say thank you for the bold step. It's not an easy thing to abandon your quest and aligned with the same vision. You can be assured that this process, you have a room, you have a role to play effectively to ensure that the people's voices have been heard on July 17th. So the chairman have loved to be here, but due to other engagement, and he have asked us, the Secretary General, other colleagues and I, to come and proxy on his behalf. Please be rest assured that you are the vehicle of this movement as we go towards July 17. You become mobility of this institution. Where others don't reach, you're going to be reaching there. Where breath are, you're going to make sure that those breaths will turn up on the 17th of July. And so on behalf of the chairman and the executive of STAND and we, the People Movement, want to say thank you and God bless you. As you well know, that our process is for the political influence. We are not political institution. We are civil society movement, and so we like to state it.
Labour Minister Councillor Cooper Crowd has revealed that the government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Labour, has arrested, charged, and forwarded several individuals to court on human trafficking across the country, revealing multiple ongoing investigations. Speaking at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism Tuesday, Minister Crowd acknowledged the gravity of human trafficking nationwide, describing it as a national emergency that continues to exploit the vulnerable and citizens.
Effort in the trafficking busing department of our ministry. TRP is what it. Trafficking busing is a crime against humanity. So we do it, and we are doing everything at the Ministry of Labor to discourage this, and we prosecute those who are held liable. Over the past months, we have had 3 cases in Maserati County. Those cases were in March. There were 4 women were arrested in the red light with 14 children en route to Burkina Faso. We found out the police and our investigators discovered that these people were being trafficked, and children was arrested. They were investigated, charged, and sent to court. Then in February 2025, a man named Sharif trafficked his wife to Oman. Upon her return and complaint, he was arrested, investigated, charged, and sent to court. Again, in January 2025, Henry McGee was also arrested, investigated, and charged with trafficking the Liberia wine in Oman. Now, in Majibi, we have 1 case there with police arrested and John Pastor G. as a Coleman of the household of the Holy Spirit International Church, Kakata Bridge. He allegedly orchestrated a trafficking scheme that left several Liberians stranded in Nigeria under the false pretext of relocation to Australia and Canada. In Grand Judah County, in May 2025, a woman named Esther Bow was arrested, investigated, and charged for human trafficking and interfering with child custody. She allegedly took 5 children from Monrovia to Greenwood, Grand Judah County without informing their parents. These cases are scheduled for trial during the August term of the criminal court in 2025. In addition, the governor of Liberia, in collaboration with the International Development Law Organization, IDLO, we're paying over 100 individuals on trafficking in person. The release include law enforcement officers, judges, magistrates, and prosecutors. Under the protection covenant of our fight against TRP, several Liberian victims trafficked to Myanmar were repatriated with support from the government of Liberia and the International Organization of Migration, IOM.
Labour Minister Councillor Cooper Crowd speaking. The U.S. Ambassador to Liberia, Mark Turner, has reaffirmed the United States' commitment to deepening partnership with Liberia, emphasizing grassroots development and economic investment during a visit to Broom County. Speaking to journalists after meetings with local officials and community leaders Tuesday, Ambassador Turner expressed deep appreciation for the hospitality he received.
Well, first of all, I want to just thank everyone here. Most importantly, the superintendent, Madam Superintendent, and the mayor as well, but all the village elders for the warm welcome I've received here. It's really amazing. I'm constantly taken aback by just the hospitality of the Liberian people. I know it well. I've experienced it when I was a Peace Corps volunteer here, but it never ceases to surprise me, and it's something special. Why am I here? Because I can't be in Monrovia all the time. I don't know learn anything about the problems facing Liberia, the challenges, but also the opportunities. So by getting outside of Monrovia, by traveling to places like Broom County, like Bonga, I get to see a lot more. I get to talk to the leadership and understand more what the problems are and how we can possibly help, but also what the opportunities are. And I think that's what the U.S. wants to try to bring to Liberia, to this relationship, is to build more of a strategic relationship between partners, where we're helping with investment and creating opportunities for Liberians. Do my talk with the superintendent and the mayor, we learned a little bit more. I learned a lot about, frankly, just the challenges that they're facing here, and behalf of just the approach that they're taking to build community unity and engagement, to try to bring the people closer together and try to involve the people. I'm a big believer myself in kind of grassroots development. And by that I mean, people can come in and bring money and bring assistance, but unless you have the buy-in and investment of the local people, the local population, you're not going to have any sustainability. And I think that's what the superintendent, if I may, is trying to build here. I don't come handing things out, but except for small gifts. But what I want to say is we'll continue to follow up. We're going to continue to build a long-term relationship with Liberia. But one, I think Liberia's come such a long way, and politically, three free and fair presidential elections. Its progress is remarkable. But now we need to see the same thing on the economic development side. So that's what I know the emphasis of the United States is going to be going forward, is how do we get young people to work? How do we bring investment here? How do we build the economy?
U.S. Ambassador to Liberia, Mark Turner. Away from home, a university in Nigeria has sparked outrage after a video went viral showing female students being touched to see if they were wearing bras before taking part in an exam. In the footage, female staff at Olubasi Ode Banjo University in southwestern Ogun State are seen touching some students' chest as they check to enter an examination hall. The university has not yet commented on the video, but the student leader defended the bra policy as an attempt to ensure students dressed modestly and to maintain a distraction-free environment. However, he acknowledged that other ways were needed to enforce the policy that has been condemned by critics. And the dilemma of whether the U.S. should join Israel in attacking Iran or stay out of the offensive altogether has exposed divisions among U.S. President Donald Trump's supporters. The Republican president is considering helping target the Islamic Republic's nuclear facilities following a meeting with his national security advisors in the White House Situation Room on Tuesday. On the campaign trail, Trump often railed against stupid endless wars in the Middle East, but also maintained that Iran can't have a clear or nuclear weapon. The possibility that he might draw the U.S. into another foreign entanglement has pitted and weighing weeks of his party bitterly against one another. Well, on that note, that's how we come to a near end of this edition of King's Newsroom. But before we leave, a quick reminder of stories we followed in the headlines. Government of Liberia apprehends and forwards to court 39-year-old John Yanti as key suspect of the Capitol building arson case, but Yanti claims innocence. Says government officials promised him US $200,000 for false testimony. Lead civil society organization Integrity Watch Liberia urges national legislature to reject amendment of Local Government Act. The group executive director Harold Addo terms amendment of sections of the Act as retrogression of government decentralization. You also heard in the news Independent and National Commission on Human Rights Commission chairperson Councillor Dempster Brown accuses ex-warlords who are government officials of honor money. The establishment of Water Economic Crimes Code calls on Liberians to support the code to end the country's culture of impunity. Away from home, a university in Nigeria has sparked outrage after a video went viral showing female students being touched to see if they were wearing bras before taking part in an exam. The dilemma of whether the U.S. should join Israel in attacking Iran or stay out of the offensive altogether has exposed divisions among U.S. President Donald Trump's supporters. In defense, our reporters, correspondents, and all those who have been making this edition of King's Newsroom resources. Sam Andrews brought you the news bulletin. Frank Diallo Swen, so that control and handle the technical aspect of this edition. On behalf of the team, I'm Shemon. There, I present. Thanks for listening and watching.